It's our cheeky Zerg player. Double gas and early pool for Dragon Phoenix Gaming. This is Rogue. And in the top left, his opponent, the Blue Terran player for the Shopify Rebellion. This is Byun. Former BlizzCon champion. I guess that would mean former champions on both sides. Be roaches. Oh man, this is like incredibly disgusting. Okay, so I actually love this. So Byun is very, very confident with his 3 barracks play here. I mean, both of these players, man, are just playing as cheeky as humanly possible. Now Byun is going to be able to scout this. This is going to be an implicit scout by a rogue. Oh no, he's going to stay back. Ah! All right, so Byun going to notice this, something funky, something's fishy, and we'll be able to scout the roaches almost immediately. So this is an incredible scout for Byun. Should be able to just toss down a bunker almost immediately. Now that is going to leave this supply depot a bit exposed, but you know, all in all, should be fine. But it's Reapers. Large amounts of Reapers. So the question now is going to come down to, is our Reapers going to be enough to hold this? I mean, Ravagers have a pretty decent range. And there's no second base here, so Rogue is going to work on his own micro skills. It's micro v micro. Ooh, actually, I kind of like the positioning of this for Rogue. This supply depot is going to be incredibly difficult to repair, and it's not even going to get repaired. I mean, this is going to supply depot. This is going to supply block Byun here. Well, okay, so that's going to be about it for the unit count. And now I finally do see a second hatchery going down. Where are those Reapers going to go? They are going to swing back around. Oh, that actually should be devastating damage. Yeah, those are units going to come in from the backside. Every single Ravager will go down. But was it enough? Was that enough damage? I mean, all of these Reapers are going to be alive at this point, and there's nothing here. Oh, there's nothing. This should be game one in the bag for Byun. I mean, a couple of roaches are going to come out, but these Reapers are going to be able to have infinite amounts of kite potential. I mean, there's going to be so many mines here. These units are just going to get whittled away. Yeah, that first Reaper, or that first roach is just going to just melt. Just falls apart. One Reaper does end up going down. The second Reaper does get pulled back to safety, but a concave is going to make this an incredibly difficult hold for Rogue. Rogue should be able to push this off, but only barely. This is not a great position for the Zerg player. And it's just continued Reaper production on the opposite side of the map. We might see a natural base go down here in a moment. This is starting to become increasingly worrying here for Byun, who needs to find some additional damage. The supply count is slowly starting to grow here for Rogue. 25 army supply to the 14 of Byun, who is just continuing on Reapers. But now, we've seen this before. I mean, where this Reaper count just grows enough. There's no upgrades, so... And just by superior micro is able, just able to grab some of these roaches as they bump backwards. And then he can just dive on in. Yeah, this is starting to become a worrying situation here for Rogue once again, as Byun is going to be able to get in and starts picking off some of those valuable Ravagers, but does lose quite a few Reapers of his own. Oh, this is a very, very interesting situation here for both of our players. We might see this level out and become a normal-ish looking game. But what a way to get here at the 6-minute mark. Yeah, this seems to be about the best case scenario for Rogue, at least at this point. Oh, very cute. Trying to make those biles work, but doesn't quite get that to happen. Now we do see Cloak Banshee on the follow-up, so Byun is not hard committed into just Reaper production. Looks like he is going to make that transition out. Going to put a tech lab on his barracks. We will start to see Stim Pack on the way. Now, I don't know if the starport was visible. Oh, that's actually brutal. He sees there's a tech lab, but he doesn't know what it's attached to. So that could very easily be Stim Pack. That could be Banshee. Could be anything. Could even be a boat. Ah, yes. The old 7-minute Zergling speed timing. A classic in DVT. But this Banshee will be able to get on in. Banshee Cloak just finishing up. I mean, the Spore Crawler is only now getting finished. So this Banshee will have a small window of time where this is going to be able to find damage, but not quite enough to really cause any major issues. It looks like Rogue can get across the map here. This should be a third base canceled. Okay, that does finally go down. Is there enough of a spot here for Rogue to really wiggle in? No, this is actually not a great trade. The second Banshee pops out and will provide incredible damage for Byun's army here. And there's just enough Reapers here to really protect against the retreat. Oh, this is a great deal of damage. The second Banshee gonna come in? I mean, that's every single unit of Rogue gone. So the Queens are the defense. Yeah, it's 3 Queens and 2 Roaches. I'm not a mathematician, guys. That seems like Byun's advantage. GG's call. Rogue's gonna have to tap out, and it was cheese v cheese, and Byun's was just a little bit stronger. All right, both players. Oh, wait. I was gonna say both players gonna play standard, but Byun's going command center first. He bet the farm. Imagine if Rogue would have gone pool first. I mean, this would be over. It'd just be game over. He'd show up with Lings here on the opposite side of the map, and he'd have nothing to defend. So Byun taking a huge gamble here in game number 2, but hey, it's a gamble that's going to pay off. So can't quite argue with that. By the way, everyone, thank you for tuning in. Hope you're having a good one. Of course, my name is Rushi. If you're really enjoying this cast, do feel free to. I mean, what do you click here? I'll be honest, I don't cast on Trovo very often. But do click whatever button you need to follow our channel here. We do occasionally bring some really, really good high quality content. We do that here and just about everywhere in the atmosphere. For StarCraft 2. ITaX, we love bringing you guys the content you deserve. All right, Byun should be able to take off like a rocket here now that he has his orbital command done. Third base coming down for Rogue. I mean, it's only now that he's going to start to maybe, well, is he even going to be able to tell what's going on here? So I think by this point now it's going to be evident that, I mean, this was a normal looking build, but the only thing would be the lack of units to really spot. But at the same time, Rogue has taken the opportunity to do just his own economic growth. Really hasn't invested in a whole lot of army units. So just the spotter Zerglings The only thing that might be the telling tale is the fact that there was no Reaper across the map. But that could be an indicator of different things. I mean, sometimes that Reaper doesn't come across and you start wondering, okay, where's the battle cruiser? Where is the proxy? Where is where I mean, it could be an economic command center first opening. Just got to look for those different pieces. Oh no. Hopefully that's short-lived for our good Spanish friend. Or I guess Mexican friend. He speaks Spanish. He's not Spanish. There's people from Spain. All right, so very hands-off here, game number 2 so far. Pretty decent Hellion count. Only getting back into barracks, so the most normal of normal ZVTs. Good little supply depot wall. I mean, the queen coverage is pretty strong here, so I don't see Byun getting a crazy amount of damage done at this current point. So Roach is going to be coming out, help deflect some of the insanity of the Hellions across the map. Oh, actually, okay, Queen's going to be a bit out of position here. Yeah, that's going to be a drone line that's got to get pulled. Oh, Byun, where there's a will, there's a way. Kind of wedged himself in there, but actually just giving himself a good position. So 12 workers have gone down. Very, very good. I mean, that's going to be more barracks production. Yeah, that's absolutely the right response here. No 4th base just yet, but now Rogue's going to have to rebuild into his mineral line at the 3rd base location, despite the fact that he has still a very significant worker advantage here, 58 to 46. It could have been so much greater with 12 workers that have gone at this point. So now Byun is going to come across with a tank and a decent, healthy amount of Marines. I think 14 in total. No medevac, though. So you cut the medevac production, or at least you leave early, so that way your units are here. By the time you need the medevacs, they're able to show up. Here comes the 2nd tank and additional Marines. So this is a really strong timing, and it kind of hits a little bit early here at the 6:30 mark. Normally this kind of strikes about a minute later, but tank's going to get into position here. Byun's going to be able to capitalize on strong positioning. I believe stim pack is done. Yes, combat shields just finished up, and +1's going to finish here as well. But he's just going to pick up and go home. He just decides to leave. Doesn't like the way it looks. So now no 4th base still here for Rogue. Rogue's going to stay on to his Roach production here. He's spiking on his unit count, 82 to 62. He thinks better of it, and he's going to try and turn it back around once again. But I mean, the indecision here is a little harrowing here for the Terran player, who does need to try and find a way to get some damage. Oh, this is a good way to do it. Going to be able to get those medevacs in. Oh, the Queens do come back and protect. So that drop not going to happen in the main base. Rogue's going to stay on top of this. This is going to be a nice little collapse of these units. Ling's going to be able to get onto the tanks. Ravager Biles connecting in a big way. This should be mostly picked up. Yeah, this is a good attack here by Rogue. Byun's going to try and follow up with some additional units, and we'll find some initial damage here. Oh, I'm going to burn off some of these transfuses. A couple do end up going down pretty fast. 3rd base just about finished up here. Gold expand now coming down for Rogue. And supply tells an interesting tale here. 150 to 107. He's got almost 20 additional workers over his opponents. And taking that gold base would be really important but this is that's a canceled base. So Byun trying to stymie at least a little bit of that economic growth for right now. Creep spread trying to push out to the center of the map here. Byun will be able to clean up a little bit more of it. I don't think it has an additional scan at this current. Oh yeah, it does. Concave trying to collapse onto Byun, but again, that patented micro keeping himself alive. Ooh, Rogue's got to be careful not to push too far off a creep here because Byun will strike. These units move so quickly. And will be able to get some additional work done here onto this creep spread. And both players are playing pretty scrappy here at the 9-minute mark. So it's just additional roach production. I mean, +2 missile attack on the way. 1-1 has completed, but has not begun. +2 here. This is going to be a dedicated fight. This Bio trying to get as much value as humanly possible here. And Byun does a really good job of evening out the army account here. It's 64 to 61, and he has enough Marines to really start pushing forward once again. Now, this base does get situated at the gold expand, and it looks like Byun is going to try and take the same opportunity here. Nice little block by the changeling. So buys him just a little bit of time. Is he going to be able to work away at this base? No, I don't think so. So now that's going to be both players securing the gold, at least for now. This is still a sizable amount of Roach Ravager, and +2 missile is going to be finishing up any moment here. And without tank positioning, and that's an exposed mineral line. Oh, but Rogue's going to get pulled back home once again. I think Rogue missing an opportunity here. I mean, that's a lot of worker damage that could be picked away. But now Byun is going to have that tank coverage on the high ground. This is going to have to be a collapsible situation here for Rogue. Tank's going to be very pivotal in this defense here. It is back and away. Ravager's not going to be able to bile on it just yet. There it finally does go down, but they do kind of whiff a little bit. So one extra shot does get off here as Byun having to stutter step back further and further. Workers get pulled off of the gold mineral line to try and assist, and that is going to shove Rogue back for right now. But Byun in a bit of a worsening position as he is not able to really shut down Rogue just yet. However, Rogue in a better spot here. Going to try and catch some of these roaches out of position. Once again, these Marauders and Marines finding so much value. Tank on the high ground going to be impactful once again, but only one shot this time. That is going to be too much. Rogue, and GG is called. Rogue finally overwhelms his opponent here in game number 2 and takes Blackburn, evening up the series 1-1. It's our Blue Terran player playing for the Shopify Rebellion. And he's got a couple of workers out on the map here. This is Byun. Top right, his opponent, the Red Zerg for Dragon Phoenix Gaming. This is Rogue. All right, double barracks. So this is a bit more of an investment here. Is Rogue going to be able to spot this? No. I think this is... Oh, okay. I think he will. I think it is very probable. Yeah, there we go. This is actually an incredible scout. However, those units are not going to be available for comment at this time. You know, putting down a little bit of damage onto one of the SCVs is actually really good, because that's going to delay things just a little bit. He's going to heal this back up, or repair it back up, rather. So this does back things off, even by just like a couple of seconds, which doesn't seem like a whole lot, but is rather important. What's in production? Okay, there we go. I was like, Rogue, you got to build units here. You need something. Okay, drones should be able to work away on the Marines. Yeah, the whole goal of this is to try and keep the Marines away from the bunker. Nice little surround here on the top. Picks off 2 of those Marines. Now, it does come at the cost of 6 of those workers, and the bunker's allowed to finish. Oh, Rogue. Is he going to be able to hold this off? He will. Will have just enough to be able to push these units back. So 6 workers might be the sacrifice it takes to keep Byun out of the driver's seat here in game number 3. It's all about keeping that bunker empty. These units can inevitably go down as long as the bunker stays empty. I think the bunker's gonna get canceled here, or get recalled here. Yep, absolutely. Salvage goes down. That's a huge win here for the Zerg player. And Byun does need to try and figure out a secondary strategy here. He is gonna throw down a command center. But I should put Rogue in a wonderful position here. His larva count should be able to jump up just a little bit. No additional queen at the main, which does slow things down a little bit further, but needs to start working away on the free scout here for this barracks. So all in all, pretty decent defense here for the Zerg player. Yeah, Rogue's gonna get out to his 3rd base location. This is gonna turn into a normal-ish looking game. So Byun not gonna be able to capitalize on the proxy here. Now we are gonna see the barracks get lit on fire. And the barracks is gonna scout almost nothing. You're gonna see that Rogue is not completely falling apart to the pressure. Now, a few Hellions could change that. A bit of a supply block here for Rogue, quickly dealt with. Additional queen's gonna be built as well. And Cloak Banshee gonna be the follow-up for Byun. So both players should be able to get out of this this early game with ease. Okay, queen coverage. Queens are at the front, although those are in a position where they could just zip on by. Okay, so it's gonna be a scary situation here. 4 Banshees is a decent amount of damage as well. Ooh, a couple of them do get picked off, but the other 2 separate out to try and find some damage. 6 workers, not insignificant. Just kind of even things up here. 12 workers dead for Rogue as this Viking's going to start harassing as well. I don't know if the Queen's going to be able to pull over to defend against these. Yeah, that should be 1 more Overlord down. Nice coverage at the wall. In fact, actually, it's a cute little upgrade there. Byun's like, check this out, guys. I retrofitted my supply depot with a couple of Hellion blasters. I call it the Hell's Depot. Man, if they came up with new content for StarCraft 2, I'd be making so much money off of that. It's a great idea. What great. All right, 4 more workers going down here for Rogue. Byun's starting to stack a little bit of his damage, for sure. So this, I guess, natural. Completely barren right now. Oh, there's these queens are going to be caught out in transition a little bit. One queen does take a little bit of damage. Well, I'm going to say try and retarget here. Oh, that's going to pick off that queen. That's actually a decent amount of damage here. As now 2 Banshees going to make this a little bit better. Oh, 1 does get picked off, and that queen does get rescued. A nice situation for Rogue. But once again, Byun with his patented micro. Gonna try and find some additional damage here with these Hellions. Wedge themselves in. Ling's getting a decent amount here, but does finally get everything done. Oh, tries to eBay or Evolution Chamber block the Hellions out of additional damage, but these are going to find increasingly more damage here. Byun continuing to double down. He does roast a large chunk of that mineral line. Does finally go down, but 10 more workers. That's a much better exchange. And all of this while Rogue is trying to get up to Spire. He needs these workers to be able to work on his gas count, his mineral count. He can't afford to be trying to replace workers at this point. It's 27 workers down for, what, 2? Maybe a couple more here? No, not even. These Marines are going to be able to come and reinforce. So that third base, despite that the Mules losing a little bit of their mining time, that's about it. And the Spire is going to be scouted on top of it. So Byun in a great position here in game number 3. So I think it's something important to remember. I mean, anytime that you've got a Terran player and a Zerg player, even on supply, that gives a slight implied advantage to the Terran player. Mostly because of the income advantage. The worker counts are a little bit separated here. I mean, 64 to 58. But 8 workers doesn't make that big of a difference. Now, mutas are going to be able to come out here, and Rogue could find some good damage. But because the Spire were scouted, missile turrets are going to go up. We've got one in the natural. We've got probably nothing in the main just yet, but there will be Marines on production that can help spot for those. So that won't be a horrid spot to try and play from. But I mean, this is not Rogue's game just yet. He's got to find some decent damage with these mutas. Picking off a tank for free, that would be a great start. Not going to be able to find it though. Good coverage here by the Marines. And now we will start seeing Thor production. And man, are these units even fast enough for Byun? I feel like those don't have the same micro ability. Yeah, I think Byun's just going to push forward here. The mutas are not going to be scary, but the banelings might be. That ends up being a really good, really good trade here for Rogue. I don't think those banelings were an expected value in Byun's thought process here. So these Marines should get all cleaned up. We're just going to try and pick off as many more mutas as humanly possible. Shouldn't find this go down. Yep. 7 workers across the map? Where do workers go down? Oh. Okay. Alright, so Byun's going to try and scream to the top side of the map. Those are going to be able to find banelings, so that's actually a good scout. Thor is here. How many of those do we have? Just one. Second one in production right now, but it's a large amount of Ling. I mean, those aren't a natural enemy to the Thor, but if that's really all he's rocking, you got 44 Marines. Never mind. Probably fine. Okay, mobility meets also mobility with a couple of Thors. As Rogue's going to dance around the map. Try and find some positioning here. Still working out whether or not he can split this army up and keep these mutas all by themselves. As long as they don't encounter the Thor, should be fine. Yeah, and you see even one shot of that. You can see how much yellow that paints onto these mutas. So now it's just going to be Rogue trying to hold down a little bit of his map control. We'll have some nice dropping of creep for sure. Okay, we'll see some additional production here. Rogue, champion, not above a macro hatch. especially in Mutiling Bane heavy army. 2 Thors now on the map. Third one's just going to arrive at this point. And that is a strong amount of Banelings here, as follow-up is going to be a continued Mutiling Bane. +2 flyer attacks, just about to finish up. +2 melee, about 40% done. And if Rogue can continue to try and keep his opponent pinned back, he should be able to just creep his way through the entirety of the map here, as he is going to be able to pick up this, what is it, the 6th base now? Does need to keep those mutas alive. However, army count vastly different here, 128 to 104, and Rogue's effectively maxed out. Oh, those Banelings do not want to go and contest a Thor. That would, I think, about the only worse outcome for those Banelings would be to just all crash into an Archon. Oh, those mutas actually completely clump up here. They do try to take out the mine, but they take a ton of damage in the process. So now these mutas going to be very, very soft. They cannot stick around in fights for much longer than they just did. They are going to have to play a little bit more conservatively right now, as Wallace starting to come down. 2-2 for the ground units, just about to finish up here. 3-3 on the way for Byun. And this is just a very, very rotation-heavy game. Catch a couple of these medevacs out. They're not nearly enough Marines here to make an impactful difference. So these mutas should be able to get a lot of damage done, but another mine shot gets on top of those units and once again softens up that main army. Baneling's going to crash on into Thors. I mean, this is a very poor choice here for Rogue. Byun's going to be able to capitalize on this opportunity. All of his Marines in the back still alive. Great target fire here, and the splitbacks from Byun keep all of his units alive. These mutas are not going to be able to find any additional damage at this point. They're going to have to back off. Ultras! Rogue, are you trying to throw this game? I mean, I guess he's got the mineral bank, but he's really not rocking that much gas because he's been focusing so much on his muta count here. I mean, +2 flyer attacks on his mutas means that he's still at least a little bit invested in keeping some air army in his composition. But Banelings, Ultras, mutas, this is a very gas-heavy game. And I mean, we're missing gases here at this base, missing gases at this base. We do have the gases going here, but what? He's got 2, 4, maybe, yeah, he's got 6. He's got a little bit of gas production up here, but that's not going to be too much longer. Yeah, +3 flyer attacks coming down, as well as adrenal glands finishing up. This is a great situation here for Rogue at this point. He is going to capitalize on these Banelings here on the left-hand side base. They pick up a base. They pick up 9 workers. Banelings should be able to be mitigated at this point, but now the mutas are going to come in for the follow-up damage, but I think there's just a few too many missed turrets in total. So, Rogue's bank, I mean, is continuing to ever expand. And as long as he continues to stay on the Mutiling Bane, maybe, I guess, adding Ultras into that as well, he should be in a fine position. Okay, Baneling's going to try and find a few of these units. A giant amount of Banelings. Oh my gosh, there's just so many. They actually didn't find that much. A lot of these bio units still alive. This planetary fortress is still standing. But Rogue, again, is just trying to flush some of the resources out of his bank. He's got an opportunity to try and make something work. And who knows? I mean, in Rogue's situation, I mean, he tries to make it work, and if it does, awesome, great, he's just ahead. But if not, he's just going to hold down the Z key. Just make additional units and throw him at his opponent once again. All right, Ghost Academy's been spotted out. Yeah, that's actually going to become a very, very squishy target here. Personal cloaking device not going to be allowed to finish here. This should be able to get picked off. It does. Oh, Banelings once again over on the left-hand side base. So many Banes, he's just going to snap it on top. Actually picks off some of those turrets as well, which is a good grab here in additional Banes. Oh my gosh. Rogue is the campaign right now. Byun is playing the Terran mission where you just have to like survive wave after wave after wave. And Rogue is the AI that knows how to make banelings. But the game's gone on long enough that now it starts throwing like slightly progressively more difficult units at you. So now there's a couple of altars that are going to come out here. Now this is ultimately going very, very well here for Rogue. Now Byun, though, to his credit, is still staying up on his supply. He has dropped a significant amount of workers. He's at 56 workers, but that's going to allow him to put 30 additional army supply onto the map. So it's a matter of whether or not Byun's going to be able to capitalize on the supply advantage, because over time Byun will continue to try and like hold on, but really not getting a whole lot beyond that. Oh man, those things made it all the way in. 10 workers. And he's going to be able to get workers here out at the front base as well. 18 in total. Yeah, those ultras do have to run. Muta's going to pick up a couple of these ghosts, and they're going to get into medevacs. This is not the flex you think it is here, Byun. The micro capabilities doesn't matter when you can't outrun those mutas. So a couple of those ghosts do end up going down. Oh man, this is just like, this is relentless damage over and over. Great mind pull here for Rogue. He's going to be able to get all of his banelings in. That's going to be damage that can't be fixed. Rogue should be able to push on forward here. He has a decent amount of banelings still. Good splits here by both players. But Byun should be able to push this down for at least the moment. But does he have enough to deal with the mutas? There is one Thor, very, very low. It's too much. Rogue cleans up game number 2. 19-minute game here. So now it becomes a race to see who can make this game get weird. And it seems like both players are going to stay rather standard. Hatchcast pool for Rogue and 1 barracks for Byun. I kind of thought we might see triple barracks once again. Because in game number 1, to counteract Rogue's Roach build, he adapted his 3 barracks from Marine production into Reaper production, and worked out rather well. I mean, that's the one game that Byun's been able to win in this series. But I could see Byun being capable of knocking Rogue into a game number 5 if he went for that 3 barracks once again. But it seems that this game will be much more standard than that. So he gets down to factory. All right, unbuildable plates have been destroyed. Got a starport on the way. We've been seeing a lot of Cloak Banshee here in this series, and I think it is entirely possible that we will see Cloak Banshee once again. Now, Rogue actually holding off on his Ling speed. He's only now just gotten 25% of the way through his Ling speed, which is kind of noteworthy, I guess. I mean, that's 2 more drones that come out in the early stages of the game, and if he has no business being across the map and feels like he can zone the Reaper with the Queens, which he's doing a remarkable job of, I mean, that does give him a little bit of a production advantage. And I mean, it kind of wrestles things a little bit in his favor. I think it's one of those that it's a very, very shallow investment, but it's an investment nonetheless. I mean, the advantages are won by the smallest of margins. And Metabolic Boost is going to be finished by the time these Hellions are able to push across the map. So the reality of the situation is that he seems to be in a wonderful position. Oh, wow. Really good spread by these Lings. Okay, they do group up at the end. But Rogue all over Byun right now. 70 to 58. Pulling away with a slight advantage here. Okay, third base going to finally be underway as well. Do we have a Banshee out just yet? No, not quite. First Banshee's going to be... Oh, wait, no. Yes, we do. I was like, no, that doesn't seem right. Cloak's about done. Core Crawler's already in the mineral line as well. So as long as he can hold this damage off... Oh, yeah, this is, I mean, this is textbook. Byun has just been able to get almost nothing accomplished here. There's been a singular drone killed and 7 lings. That's it. For all of this micro-harassment here by Byun, he has not been able to capitalize on any of it. Now, 2 Banshees, both with Cloak available. Now, that could be a little bit of a different story. But even still. Do you have any Overseers? There's one. Where's that Overseer? It's over in the natural. Decent harassment here on that 4th base location. Queen's getting caught off of creep, making it a little bit more difficult to try and knock things down. A little creep spread at that 3rd base of Byun, delaying that just by a little bit again. I mean, these games are won by the smallest of advantages. So even delaying that 3rd base by 10-15 seconds can have a significant impact over time. And a Hydra Den is going to go down. So Rogue going to mix things up here in game number 4. We are going to see probably a little bit of Hydra Lingbane into a Lurker Lingbane. Fifth base underway as well. Yeah, this base did take a healthy amount of damage. I was going to say, did those Banshees get rescued? No, not quite. They're still hanging out. Just chilling. Going to be able to wrap around these units. Slow Veins picking up Marines off of creep. That's a pretty strong win for Rogue. Finally, the Hellions do get picked off. Byun going to lose one of his Banshees. Second Banshee is going to be damaged enough that it should not be allowed to continue major harassment. That is going to be shut down in its entirety. Oh, I love this. Rogue trying to send in the fake Overlord drop. Not going to get anything this time around. Mine's kind of dragging a normal location here for Rogue. That ends up working out for him. Oh, he does get the pull the second time. Oh, I love the commitment to the bit there for Rogue. Very, very well done. And now it's going to be something that Byun has to like actively think about. It's like, oh no, drops. No, I'm the one who should be dropping. Don't cite the old magic to me. I was there when it was written. Like, that's my thing. Mommy's copying me. I don't even know who the mom figure would be in this case, but that's a person that exists now in this fake universe I've created in my head. All right, Hydra Lingbane. Nice little composition. We haven't seen this for a few years. It's not great. It's definitely not as strong as it was maybe back in like 2018, 2019. But with the transition possibility into Lurkers, that does create a valuable opportunity to advance forward in the game. 2-2, about halfway done. So in terms of upgrades, both players kind of on pace with each other. Decent micro potential here for Byun. But this base not yet secured. There aren't enough units here to be able to defend this just yet. Oh, the Baneling's going to be able to connect with the Marines if they're not careful. Oh, those do find the connections they're looking for. 8 workers do end up going down, but the reinforcements will be able to push the Hydras back and away. Hydras can't afford to overstay too long. They're just a bit too expensive, especially in this game right now. Both players doing a nice job of spending down their banks. Bunker? Bunker going to be able to make things count here. Oh, and it's going to trap all of these SCVs. Yeah, the retarget there in the last second to make sure that those units go down. 16 workers in total taken care of. Rogue is starting to pull away here in this game. 183 to 136. A little bit of separation in supply is not terrible if you're the Terran player, but if you start letting that go above 25 to 30, things start to get a little bit dicey. You have to really make some crucial plays happen here. Target fire of Banelings has to be extra crispy. And Rogue just about maxed out here. He's going to be getting up to his hive. 3-3 on the way here for Byun. +2 melee just now finishing up. Oh, I love it. I mean, this Overlord has never had units in it. And it has got Byun just, like, distracted. He's looking for that mine. That one mine shot could get so much damage done. Oh, it pulls onto the Overseer. That's not the target it wanted. Oh, I mean, that's a dead base. Oh, there's so many Banelings here. There's no Marauders to really soak up these shots, so the splits are incredibly good, but too many Banelings, and Rogue is going to roll over his opponent here, 3-1. And this is going to be a Rogue versus Gumiho battle in the grand finals of today's event.